Please be informed that this occasion, this event, is organized by Tegas and not Trust. This is not a political event, nothing to do with politics, but it has something to do with the improvement of human skills. And since I have not yet developed the skill of public speaking, I am therefore forced to read the text that is prepared for me to read. Normally I don't like this, reading somebody else's idea. But then takut dia kecil hati, whoever wrote this speech, I read some parts of it that I agree with and leave out those parts which I don't agree with. So be prepared to sleep this afternoon while I'm reading from the text. Remember, I have not yet developed any public speaking skills. Ahli-ahli yang berhormat, menteri-menteri, terutama sekalinya Kapit, Ketua Menteri, abang aku, Pak Jabu, kaban aku, James Masing, dua rambut putih, dah tua dah kan. Ke atas tua, ke bawah pun tua je boleh. State Secretary, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan yang saya hormati sekalian. Now, this is what is written for me to read. One of the main thrusts of our economic development under Malaysia Plan, the 11th Malaysia Plan, and the long-term Sarawak socio-economic transformation plan, or shall I call it the catch-up plan, is to raise significantly the development of rural areas and to narrow the income disparity between the rich and the poor. I have always said that if you want to find poor people in Sarawak, just take a drive, go to the rural area. But if you want to find a lot of rich people, in the urban area. So emphasis, therefore, in the search for equality and the search for justice, you must narrow the gap between the rich and the poor. And that, by the way, is not written in the text. I want Sarawak to become a rich and prosperous state where the wealth is shared by all Sarawakians and not just by the urban rich. For this to happen, we must accelerate, quicken the pace of Sarawak's income growth by restructuring our economy, current economy. We need to focus our effort and resources on creating high-income opportunities in new economic areas with better potential, with greater potential, rather than spreading our attention on marginal improvement in traditional sectors. In this respect, one of our key strategies is to expand the more productive manufacturing and service sector. Manufacturing and service sector. We are no longer content simply to be producers of raw material, just commodities with no added value. The implementation of a strategic program, such as SCORE and the biomass industry development. And as we expand our manufacturing and service sectors, the demand for workers that are highly skilled and technically competent will increase significantly. So if we want to expand this sector of the economy, we also need to expand or increase the volume, the number of people who are technically skilled and competent. And we are still lacking in this area. For example, the implementation of SCoRE alone is estimated to generate over 600,000 skilled and semi-skilled jobs by the year 2030. So these are the jobs looking for people in the next 15, 20 years. 600 technically competent people. We cannot, rightfully this opportunity should be taken by our own people. They must be given priority. We do not want to depend on foreign workers and expatriates to do these jobs. If necessary, we've got no choice but to take them. And by the way, we are not going to take in all those 1.5 million Bangladesh coming to Sarawak. Maybe some, of course, but not all. The figures are all mixed up. I think there's some misunderstanding about this one. Just imagine 1.1 Bangladeshi coming to Sarawak. Mati kita po. We do not want to depend on foreign workers and expatriates to do these jobs. In this respect, a key prerequisite of our success is the development of a high-quality human capital that is creative, innovative, and imbued with appropriate knowledge and skills. That is why we have set developing human capital as one of the key thrusts of Sarawak's 11th Malaysia Plan. We have our own 11th Malaysia Plan, coinciding at the same time with the federal one, so that we can catch up with a lot of catch up to do. Relevant to this one, of the 50 key decisions that I have made since I became the big chief of Sarawak, which is to increase priority and greater focus to skills and vocational training. One of the major decisions we made in the last 2 years or so is to develop skills vocational school training. Jangan semua nak jadi religious teachers. Semua nak jadi ustaz tu, ustaz. Yeah, we have enough already. And then what are you going to do with them after they graduate and they got nothing to do? You can only pray. That's all. So then we cannot have a misfit. We need ustaz, of course, to teach us religion and so on and so forth. Of course we do, but not that many. And that is why government service now takes ustaz not as religious teachers, but as administrators. So I suppose with a religious background, they will make better administrators. So misfits, we cannot develop misfits. They become educated, they are trained to do this, but at the end of the day, they got nothing to do. And that is not the result of a very bad policy, unthought of properly. And the result can be disastrous. And now we are landed with thousands of unemployed graduates. Relevant to this one key decision that I have made, we must empower our youth, especially those from the rural areas, with appropriate training and skills so that they would be competent and ready to grab all opportunities arising from more investment coming into the state. You know, Kapit is a very small town, comparatively speaking. But the amount of money transaction that goes through the banks in Kapit is surprisingly huge compared to an ordinary town. The reason is because, one of the reasons is because the IBAN practice berjalan. They find work outside of Sarawak, especially in the oil and gas industry. And they are paid very well. Even though they are not so skilled in the beginning, they develop their skills in the end. You go to any oil and gas industry, lo and behold, you find an IBAN there, working and earning good money and sending good money home. That is why the volume of money transaction in our banks, in Kapit, for instance, is quite huge for a kampung of that size. So just imagine the amount that you can earn if you have the appropriate skills required. For this purpose, we are establishing more technical training centers. The Sarawak, of course, has set up ZenTech in Kuching and Lulu. More ZenTech centers will be set up in other parts of Sarawak. ZenTech stands for Center for Excellence. The Sarawak Skills Development Center will open a branch in Muka. We are also working very closely with various federal ministries and agencies such as MARA, CIDB, Ministry of Human Resources, and Ministry of Education to set up more skills, training, and vocational institutions in the state. It's never too late. It's never too late to catch up. We ought to have started this years ago, but then we let it go, but it's never too late. We are also helping the private sector in setting up new institutions or expand their existing programs and facilities. May I call on the private sector to be more active and more positive in developing technical skills in the various industries. Don't just be lukewarm about the whole thing. Take the initiative. Like in other Western countries, I know the private sector make it very important, engage in research and development and the technical skills. So I hope the private sector in Malaysia and Sarawak in particular will follow that example and not just wait for the government to start the initiative. At the same time, we are fine-tuning the quality of existing programs and courses to suit the requirements of industries in various fields, especially in manufacturing, power generation and distribution, plantation, and services. As we strive to increase the capacity and the range of technical skills training programs, we are besieged by two critical constraints. There are two drawbacks, two problems which we have to overcome. The first is funding. Many of our youth that have secured places in technical institutions and so on had to decline the offer as they could not get the loan from Pembadanan Tabung Pembangunan Kemahiran. I think there's a shrinkage in the loan availability. As the allocation of Tabung Pembangunan Kemahiran has been decreased in 2015, the number of applicants receiving support in the form of loans has decreased significantly. Sarawak youth, especially those from rural areas, depend very much on the availability of financial support, without which they cannot continue their training. I hope that the Ministry of Human Resources, which is, by the way, headed by a Sarawakian, the Ministry of Finance and Perbadanan Tabung Pembangunan Kemahiran will review this and increase the allocation for Sarawak. And this is where the Sarawak Foundation can come in. Let me say here that as chairman of Yayasan Sarawak, we are prepared to supplement those who find it difficulty to find funding for the clinical training. So, Len Sani, can you please note this down? Ini janji Menteri ini, apa nama, Yayasan Sarawak. Where there is shortage, we are prepared to supplement and not deprive these young people of the training that they deserve. The second constraint that we face is the shortage of qualified local instructors in skills training. As we do not have a local institution in Sarawak to conduct advanced diploma for vocational trainer, or even certificate for vocational training officer, there are very few Sarawakians who are qualified to conduct vocational training, especially in institutions operated by the Ministry of Human Resources. Consequently, we have to depend on instructors brought in from Semenanjung, Malaysia. The problem is that these instructors return to Semenanjung after 2 or 3 years of service before replacements are available. So there is a gap. There is a gap between before you can find another lecturer and so on. The consequence is that certain programs cannot be conducted because there are no lecturers. I hope the Ministry of Human Resources will view this problem seriously and set up a center for instructor and advanced skills training, or a similar institution in Sarawak so that more locals can attend vocational training officer certificates and advanced diploma for vocational trainers. How can you start a school if there are not enough teachers? You might have the students, but not enough teachers. This is the situation that we are in with regard to vocational education. As the number of institutions and number of programs offered by these institutions increases, students often need counseling to find the right program that fit their interests as well as provide attractive career prospects in the future. We do not want to produce misfits. Trained for something, cannot find a job where they are trained to do. They cannot exercise their expertise. I noticed sometime, in Kuala Lumpur, some Filipino maids are in fact graduates, but they have to be maids, even though they're graduates. I think there's something wrong here, where graduates have to resort to being maids or waiters and all that sort of thing. And sometimes I've got the unedifying experience of finding Sarawakian working in a hotel as waiter or whatever it is. Tanya, sini dapat kerja. Nah, apa yang ada, nyala tu. Sini pergi sekolah, mari aku University Malaya ke apa. Dan graduate ya, saya dapat kerja. Kini anak bini nak makan juga, mau kerja lah. Jadi waiter siapa salah lalui saja. What a waste. What a waste. And the need for events like today's SCaT fair. This is one of the measures undertaken by the state government to provide adequate information for school leavers, parents, teachers, and community leaders about the areas of knowledge and skills that would be demanded by industries in the future. How to fit square pegs into square holes, not square pegs into round holes. And that is why we have days like this, events like this, so the employer and potential employee can meet, so that they can plan their future. Objective is to increase the awareness and expand perspective of those aspiring to further their studies so that they can make informed decisions on the course to undertake to ensure their employability upon graduation. We don't want our youth to waste 3 to 4 years of the best part of their lives and a substantial amount of money to get a degree or acquire a skill which they discover later there's little or no demand for. It is very sad and disturbing to see some of our graduates and trained youth join the ranks of the unemployed or even the unemployable, especially when there are many better paying jobs waiting to be filled by persons with the right qualification and training. How to make these two meet? Sometimes these people are not aware that jobs for them are available, and potential employers are not aware that there are people out there who can fit into their organization. So now the idea is for them to meet at one place at one time so that they can fit into each other's program. Thank you kepada Tegas, especially Len Saleh, for organizing this meeting and so on. I think we have shown some results in years past and so on. Many graduates now have found employment, and many skilled people are increasing in the state. But you must do it tegas. You must tegas. You must be firm on this one, and not follow just symbolic thing. The substance is finding them a good job and finding them developing their skills. This fair will help them to focus on future career potential before deciding on an academic or skills training course, thus making the connection between learning and earning right from the very beginning. I will not be surprised if these technically qualified people are taken by industry, offered a job even before they graduate. And sometimes they earn more than the lecturers who lectured them on these courses. Good for them. So that is the emphasis on technical education. As usual, SCaT Fair also provide a platform for job seekers to meet with job providers and get employed. Job seekers and job providers must meet. Over 60 companies are offering more than 2,500 jobs during the 3-day fair. I hope graduates as well as other job seekers will come prepared to buy for these jobs. I also made to understand that this fair will include clinics and career talks to benefit visitors, including graduates and students from institutions of higher learning and secondary schools. Indeed, this endeavor will be very beneficial in creating awareness among providing guidance, expanding perspectives, and instilling motivation to the participant when it comes to making intelligent and informed choices for their careers. I'm very impressed with the list of speakers that have been invited to speak to our youth throughout the 3 days and inspire them to set challenging goals. All youth, especially job seekers, should take advantage of these side activities to improve their marketability. I understand that this year organizers have incorporated creative skills such as fashion designing, makeup artists, photography, hairstyling, busking as part of the SCaT 216 activity. Apa itu? Busking itu. I hope it's not something pornographic. Kenapa si busking lah? I think it's something to do with making women more beautiful. I think. You know, women, they all want to be beautiful. They will do anything just to be beautiful. They do plastic surgery and turns out to be ugly. As our state develops and our people become more prosperous and more sophisticated, the demand for these skills will grow, and those that are talented and skilled to these areas can earn good income. There are many Sarawakians in Kuala Lumpur I know who are beauticians and so on and so forth. We want to produce more talent and add to the many Sarawakians who have earned national and international recognition. Wow, boleh tahan lah. To have earned national and international recognition, such as James I. I don't know who James I is. I know James II. He must be a famous individual, expert in his field. Z. Awi, Tom Salpi. This is Tom Salpi in the fashion, I think, fashion show. Hafiz, Chef Mulok, Nicholas Teo, Deja Moss, Dayang Nopaiza, Adnan Satem. Don't try to pretend. Sorry, I misread my own name, okay? And many others. The state has always been very concerned about unemployment, especially among graduates. It demonstrates the graduates and disheartens the family. It demoralizes the graduate and disheartens the family. Prolonged unemployment could lead to other serious social problems. An idle mind is the workshop of the devil. The state has implemented programs to assist unemployed graduates to enhance their employability. The capacity building for graduates, or CBG, that was implemented in 2009, provided valuable work experience to 4,863 participants, out of which 4,500 have left the program either because they have successfully gained employment in either the private sector or the public sector, or to further their studies. So that is the success rate. 4,500 out of 4,800. Those that are still left, three behind, I don't know what happened to them, but there we are. Based on the experience of the successful CBG program, we have developed a new program that will not only assist the unemployed, but also provide support for the participating companies. The program is called Graduate Enhancement Training Sarawak, or GET. It's an employability and enhancement program offered by Sarawak State Government, working in collaboration with partners from the industry. Unemployed graduates will be attached to GET's intern and GET's partner company for a period of 12 months. The company will assign a dedicated mentor and assign appropriate tasks and responsibilities to help get interns to acquire critical industry-related skills that will enhance his or her employability. During the 12-month internship, the graduate will be provided with courses in English, soft skills, and self-marketing skills. During the training, the government will pay the graduate training allowance of 1,000 for degree holders and 8,000 for diploma holders. 1,000 RM, okay, ringgit Malaysia, bukan US, okay, for degree holders and 800 for diploma holders. But if the employer is inclined to, he can increase that amount. SCaT has two major objectives. As an employability enhancement program, it will enable the graduate to acquire valuable work experience through on-the-job training as intern for a maximum period of 1 year in a commercial or industrial company. The interns will also attend specially structured courses. This is the area, as I said earlier, where the private sector ought to take part more actively with the government to promote skills training. The second objective of SCaT is to help companies to weather the current challenging economic conditions. By becoming a SCaT partner, they can maintain their current business and even expand it with the help of the SCaT intern. I urge all graduates, therefore, from Sarawak who has a diploma or a degree and are still looking to be employed to take advantage of this unique training opportunity and participate enthusiastically. Contact the Work Development Unit in the Chief Minister's Department to register as a SCaT intern. I am told that the response from the industry as SCaT's partner is very good. I thank all the companies that have come forward as SCaT partners, and I hope that many others will join soon. By working together, we can reduce unemployment and enhance economic growth of the state for the benefit of all. I also wish to all the visitors to the fair an enjoyable and fruitful visit to the institutions, companies, etc. that are participating. In this fair, I say thank you very much. I hope you will continue to support the state in its human capital development effort in the future. So this is the overall program. There must be the participation, active participation by the government, by the private sector, by industry, and by the graduates themselves to ensure that we success and that we achieve respectable figures to reduce unemployment in the state. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for having me here today. And thank you also whoever prepared this speech for me. Thank you.